You think aggressive turnover management is just about filling vacancies faster? But what if I told you the difference between passive landlords and surgical operators can swing your net operating income by 20 to 40%? That's not a typo we're talking about. The gap between mediocrity and building actual wealth, and most investors are leaving a fortune on the table simply because they treat turnover like an unavoidable cost instead of the highest leverage profit center they control. Here's the thing. Every day a unit sits vacant, you're not just losing rent, you're bleeding carrying costs, opportunity costs, and market positioning while your competitor down the street is pre-leasing units before the previous tenant even moves out. The math is brutal. A 30-day vacancy on a unit renting for $1,500 doesn't cost you $1,500. It costs you that, plus utilities, plus marketing, plus the psychological damage of momentum loss that makes the next vacancy even harder to fill. Let me break down what aggressive really means, because most people think it's just turning units in 14 days instead of 30. Aggressive turnover management is a system. Pre-inspections 60 days before lease end, staging crews on standby, dynamic pricing algorithms, vendor relationships so tight your painter shows up the same day, keys are returned, and lease overlap incentives that let you collect 2 rents in 1 month, legally and ethically. The ROI math makes venture capitalists jealous. If you've got a 20-unit building and you cut average turnover from 45 days to 15, you've just added $18,000 to your NOI at $1,500 per unit per month. But here's where it gets wild. That $18,000 in annual NOI translates to roughly $180,000 in asset value at a 10 cap rate. Most investors nod along here, but don't internalize the leverage point. Turnover is one of only 3 major NOI drivers you fully control, alongside rent increases and expense reduction, but it's the one with the fattest margin for error to exploit. A 2% rent bump might get you pushback. Shaving 30 days off turnover gets you 0 tenant complaints and pure profit. Now let's get technical for a second. The break-even analysis changes everything. Your all-in turnover costs, paint, cleaning, minor repairs, leasing commission, marketing, lost rent, probably runs $2,500 to $4,000 per unit, which means every week you save is worth $375 to $750 in recovered NOI, compounding with every single turn. Here's where psychology murders profits. Landlords get emotionally attached to getting it perfect during turnover, spending an extra 2 weeks on upgrades that tenants don't value at premium rent. The market doesn't care about your custom backsplash if comparable units are getting leased, while yours collects dust speed to market beats perfection almost every single time. And the data backs this up ruthlessly. I've watched operators transform portfolios by obsessing over turnover cadence. One guy I know in Austin cut his average from 38 days to 12 by simply creating a turnover checklist, pre-qualifying a vendor bench, and implementing a same-day inspection protocol. His NOI jumped 22% year over year on the same asset with the same rents, purely from occupancy optimization. But here's the contradiction nobody talks about. Aggressive turnover management can actually reduce your overall turnover rate. When units hit the market fast and fresh, you attract higher quality tenants who stay longer, creating a virtuous cycle where your best performing asset becomes your easiest to manage. Meanwhile, the landlord with 60-day turns is stuck in a death spiral of declining tenant quality and increasing vacancy. The historical pattern is clear as day. In every market cycle, the operators who master turnover mechanics outperform by margins that seem impossible until you audit their books. During the 2008 crash, the sophisticated multifamily guys maintained 95% occupancy, while amateurs bled out at 70%. And the difference wasn't location, it was process, speed, and systems. Let's contextualize with some wisdom from the operators who've done this at scale. Vacancy is a choice, not a circumstance. And your turnover time is a direct measurement of your operational IQ. These aren't just platitudes. They're diagnostic tools that separate the investors building generational wealth from those grinding out mediocre returns. Common misconception time. People think aggressive turnover means cutting corners or renting to unqualified tenants. Dead wrong. Aggressive means efficient, not desperate. It means your systems are so dialed that quality happens fast. Your vendor network is so reliable that excellence is the default. And your pricing strategy is so informed that you're never chasing the market down. Here's your practical playbook. Build a pre-turnover inspection protocol. Create a tiered vendor list with backup options. Implement digital lockboxes for instant showing access. Use dynamic pricing software and track your days to lease metric weekly like your financial life depends on it, because it does. The operators adding 15 to 30% NOI aren't working harder. They're working systematically, removing friction from every handoff in the turnover chain. Position sizing matters here too. If you're over-leveraged, you can't afford to be aggressive because you're operating from fear and scarcity. But if you sized your deals conservatively, you can invest in the systems and speed that create the excess returns. This is why the wealthy get wealthier. They have the breathing room to optimize, while the desperate are stuck reacting. The philosophical truth underneath all this: real estate returns aren't about luck or timing, they're about controllable operational excellence, and turnover management is the highest leverage operational skill you can develop. Whether your market rips higher or crashes tomorrow, the operator who fills units in 15 days instead of 45 wins, and that competitive advantage is entirely in your control. I'm completely comfortable whether you implement this or not, because the market will reward precision and punish sloppiness regardless of my opinion. The math doesn't care about your excuses. It just compounds your decisions into wealth or mediocrity over 10,000 days. If you're serious about finding properties where you can implement these systems and actually build wealth through operational excellence, check out www.growthsense.com. It's our directory where investors find investment properties and sellers list them. Simple as that.